Hi everyone, and welcome to Docue Digest, where we break down a particular legal topic into bite-sized pieces. On the menu today are data breach policies. We'll talk about what they are, how they can benefit your business, and the types of things that they include. I'm Heather Stark, Head of Legal at Docue UK, and joining me today is my colleague Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley, Legal Counsel at Docue UK. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is a personal data breach?
Well, data protection laws defines a personal data breach as a breach of security leading to the accidental or unlawful destruction, loss, alteration, or unauthorized disclosure of or access to personal data. This includes breaches that are the result of both accidental and deliberate causes. So this is a wide definition that means personal data doesn't actually have to be lost for it to constitute a data breach.
Right, that makes sense. So a personal data breach could include things like access by an unauthorized third party, or sending personal data to an incorrect recipient, devices containing personal data being lost or stolen, or even loss of availability of personal data.
Exactly. And because of this wide scope, it's really important that businesses put in place a data breach policy. A data breach policy is an internal policy for staff to revert to if they suspect or become aware of a personal data breach. It tells staff how to identify a data breach, how to mitigate a data breach, and the action that needs to be taken where a data breach occurs. A data breach policy serves as a proactive measure to establish clear guidelines and procedures to protect a business's personal data and maintain the trust of stakeholders.
Data breach policies can also be key in helping businesses to comply with their legal requirements. So businesses have 72 hours to inform the ICO of an actual or suspected data breach, where the data breach could result in a likely risk to the rights and freedom of individuals. Failure to report data breaches that meet this threshold to the ICO will be a breach of data protection laws. So it's really important that staff know what information they need to provide, how, where, and who to provide it to. So a data breach policy will clearly set out this information.
That's right, and there are few things so dreaded in the world of business as a data breach. In recent years, headlines have been littered with reports of hefty fines, broken consumer trust, and mismanagement of personal data, all thanks to a data breach. As you can imagine, a data breach policy is a particularly useful document to have in your portfolio to prevent and manage data breaches. Without a data breach policy, the risk to a business of suffering a data breach that could damage its reputation and therefore lose the trust of customers increases.
So I understand why a data breach policy can be a key document for businesses to put in place. But what information does a data breach policy actually include?
A data breach policy should explain to readers of the policy how they can identify an actual or suspected data breach. It's very important that staff are able to identify data breaches so that appropriate mitigating and reporting steps can be followed. It should also tell staff what they should do if they suspect there's been a data breach, and that'll include a notification process within the business so that the breach can be appropriately escalated.
The data breach policy should also include measures for mitigating the impact of a data breach. So this could include processes to identify breaches early on, put in place additional security measures, and liaise with third-party experts where required. It's also important to take remedial action after a data breach to ensure that a similar accident doesn't happen again in the future. The investigation process should be set out in the data breach policy.
So the policy should be used to identify, manage, mitigate, and prevent data breaches. How can Docu help with creating a data breach policy?
So Docu's dynamic data breach policy template allows users to create a top quality document in minutes. Docu's service includes model clauses designed by privacy lawyers to help businesses draft the policy themselves and tailor it to their specific needs. So you end up with a policy that's fully customized to suit your company whilst also complying with the law.
Sounds great. Thanks for listening, everyone.